Because people don't understand, man. And that's why I don't want to be a part of hip-hop no more. Because it just ain't right, man. And hip-hop, it just didn't used to be like this. You know? It's f***ed up, man. Because
What it do, YouTube? Is Coffee back at it, man. And it seems like the game is back at it again himself, man. You guys see that clip there in the beginning. A legendary IG account on this dating hip hop, man, who's been, doing their thing for quite some time. A lot of really respected rappers, Method Man, many others have tapped in and showed love with that platform as they consistently, honor and document what went down on different dates in hip hop history. Like, comment, I'm sure everyone is well aware of this account. They got I forget what their numbers are at now, but the numbers was up there way back, so I can only imagine now. But you see them having a little fun roasting the game there, taking that old clip with the game breaking down, getting emotional on camera. And, what you see on the top is talking about how Game is dissing J. Cole and these watered down hip hop fans and everything. Like, they're too soft. And then look at Game, he's breaking down, getting emotional, crying on camera and all that. And listen, there's nothing wrong with crying. That's not what I'm saying, man. Like, everyone cries, like, we're all human beings. But the Game flip-flops like a Decepticon. We've seen it time in and time out over the years. You know what I mean? Like, I always point out, for the first few years, the dude was, breaking through to the masses with his solo album, the documentary and all that. And even before that was Certified Gangsters, all the way up until the Waist Deep movie. I think until the second album drop, he had the whole world thinking one eye didn't open all the way. Like, he had a missing eye, like Charleston White or something. And we come to find out, like, nah, that eye opens just fine. That was just a prop. That was just a character this guy was playing. Like, that wasn't for real. He was deceiving us like a Decepticon, like he's done numerous times over the years. Even if you hear his early on music, you know what I'm saying? Dude, for a time period, was flowing like Shine Paul. Then he switched it up. Then, he's jacked and sampled and put his own twist on a lot of different rappers' flows, This ain't nothing new, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was a very big fan of the Game and followed his career closely. But as I always point out, and many concur with me, he's just let the fans down. And people that flock with him, everyone that was on the Black Wall Street that he did nothing for and used up, for his own benefit. Even like Compton Menace said, the whole when Black Wall Street became Money Gang, that was something he bit from Compton Menace. He had Money Hogs. The Game made it Money Gang. It was like, fuck you. And Black Wall Street, obviously, we know historically what that means. But as far as being used in the rap game as a movement or a label or anything like that, JT, the Bigger Figure, let us know that was something he originally was pushing. After different meetings he had with Farrakhan and, instilling some of the concepts and ideology that he learned from Farrakhan, he wanted to put it into a hip hop movement. And he actually met the Game at one of those summits or whatever that Farrakhan was holding, as he's told on his No Jumper interview. And, at the end of the day, when a bigger person in the rap game or label or anything came knocking, the Game ran off on JT, the Bigger Figure. But JT was smart, and he had some earlier works from the Game, and he got paid for those flat out on like an independent level where he just cashed in and got his payday and did him. But the Black Wall Street thing, the Game jacked from him and took it as his own and ran with it. This is just like so not a new thing by the Game. And you heard me talking about the way a lot of rappers got a lot of love for honest dating hip hop. There's certain rappers that block him or cry about what he says or, get all in their feelings over emotional. And the Game is one of them, like it's an ongoing joke how the Game, when referenced by honest dating hip hop, his name is Blood Block Me. And you see here, he's pointing out the ludicrousy and hypocrisy of what the Game's saying about J. Cole and the fans and everyone being soft and watered down because Cole apologized, and then you got the game on video here breaking down and crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. The game jumps out the woodwork and says a lot of wild, inconsistent, and outlandish things. Y'all remember there was one time the game said, and he was referencing Suge Knight, if any individual ever put hands on him or talked about him, he would kill them all. He said this on a radio show live. Y'all heard that? He said, if any man ever touched me, he'll be deceased 6 feet under, you know? But what's going on here is another trick the game likes to play, and I think it's kind of a cornball move, you know? Like, no question, Game had a lot of very memorable rap beefs and made some good diss tracks and all that, yes. But a move that Game did, and the fact that he's getting at J. Cole for apologizing, like, come on, man, how many times did you apologize and want to make up with 50 Cent and G-Unit over and over and over and over again? And then we seen like a billion years later, when Game ain't really relevant like that no more, 50 Cent actually entertained it and they were cool again, only for the Game to diss him all over again, man. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's just a real jokester and prankster. But basically what I'm getting at is a lot of times Game, right around when the record would drop, would kick off a beef with someone or something like that. And that's what he's trying to do now. I don't know if he's about to drop some new music or nothing, but he's just begging to get involved in this whole situation that's been going on off the tail end of J. Cole's Might Delete Later project dropping, where J. Cole, you know, has some disses out there. And then we seen all kinds of ish spin off from that, from new diss tracks from Drake, from Rick Ross. Kendrick just dropped something. Like, so much has happened and transpired, and the Game is upset and butthurt because he's not involved in this, and this is his way of trying to insert himself in the situation. Pause. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all peep Game, the Game just gets left out of everything at this point, just like that Super Bowl show a few years back. And peep it, Ice from the Joe Budden show, you see, he says, I want one of these rap dudes to diss Game just so y'all can see what a proper diss record looks like. And again, I give the Game props on some of the diss tracks that he had and everything, you know what I mean? But that was a million years ago, and at this point, he's just not relevant to be brought up in this, you know? And you see, this is where Game starts running with everyone so soft and watered down and want to apologize these days, even though you had a million times a trillion G-Unit apologies and 50 Cent apologies. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. The hypocrisy. Game said, because my level of disrespect has no limit and I can actually rap. Fans gonna choose up with whatever artist is currently safe for the culture to love as a whole. But every real rap dude in this ish know who to play with and who not to. Hip hop / rap, or whatever y'all calling it these days, was already watered down. Then Cole apologized and turned this ish into Kool-Aid with no sugar. Sincerely, Chuck Taylor. Right? And like, come on, man. Again, you've apologized to 50 Cent a billion times. Y'all remember when that one project was dropping, he kicked off this whole beef and this whole narrative with Meek Mill, where Meek Mill snitched on him. And that's when we ended up getting that ish where Game went to New York and what was that, pest control this and all that, only to squash beef with Meek Mill like a year later. Like, he was like, yo, Meek, it's all good. I just had to, you know, I had to get relevant and back out here dissing again because I had a project dropping. You know what I mean? And he's really been trying to side with Drake in this as well. That's another way Game has time in and time out and involved himself in beefs, like he used to do with Tyga when Tyga was beefing with different individuals, Lil Durk and all them. You guys remember when Game inserted himself in that one and ended up getting pressed in the club on camera? But you see, he's posting pics with Drake with his daughter, like the Game's daughter with Drake, and saying like, yo, you're my brother, you're family, I call you my brother. What do you say? I call you my brother because there's never been a moment where you made me feel otherwise, Champagne Poppy. So at the end of the day, it's not hard to read between the lines. Like, yo, I'm siding with Drake, I'm riding with Drake. He's hoping someone will diss him or somehow he'll get involved. He's sharing this Ice dude from the Joe Budden podcast tweets. Yo, no one wants to touch me because I can make a real diss record. Like, I'll out-rap all these individuals. And again, the game has had some very memorable, dope rap beefs and classic diss records and all that. But he's had it just as many hypocritical apologies, which again, his whole line that he's pushing here with J. Cole for apologizing like that makes Cole a buster or a bozo. And at the end of the day, at this point, it's like, I don't think anyone's really going to come at Game or none. And it's not because they fear you or are afraid of you, Chuck Taylor. It's because you're just not that relevant no more, man. And you've just been so inconsistent, over emotional and goofy that your time has came and went. I mean, we talk about a million apologies. Like, ain't this dude retired again? I thought he, like, how many, after LAX, he was supposed to be retired. After all these, like, I thought after Drillmatic, wasn't that his last project once again? Like, come on, Game. This ish is goofy. Just cut it out, man. You're embarrassing yourself and ruining your legacy in hip hop more and more. And once again, that's coming from someone that was a huge Game fan. But Game just let the rap game down, let his whole collective and Black Wall Street, Money Gang, Winner's Circle, whatever you want to call me, let all them cats down. Oh yeah, I can't forget for a while it was Blood Money Inc. or whatever. He let all them individuals down and never did nothing for them except for stole their concepts and put them on some mixtapes. You let the fans down. You just do too much goofy-ish. And I think this is just a sad cry for attention at this point here in 2024. Y'all comment and let me know what y'all feel, what you guys think about this. You know, like, the Game is always looking for another way to be back in the interesting storylines, you know? Like, for fans of pro wrestling, Hulk Hogan was a dude that had, and you know, so often people compare a lot of the ish that goes on in this modern day blogosphere hip hop world to WWE storylines. Hulk Hogan was a dude that, because of his early on success, he was able to have a clause in his contract to have creative control, and he wouldn't want to put other people over, and he'd always try to get involved in interesting storylines and stuff like that that was supposed to be the next man's come up. You know, the Game is like that, trying to find a way to insert himself in these storyline and pause, suck the blood like a vampire out of the newer generation in hip hop. Pause. And I think it's just downright goofy. Y'all let me know what you guys think. But speaking of the Game disses and many rap beefs that he's had, one of the individuals that I think got at him hardest out of anyone who ever beefed with the Game is Spider Loc, man. Bishop Lamont definitely has some cold Game disses as well and embarrassed the fuck out of Game on many levels as well. And there's been some other people that held their own against the Game very well. But I always say I think Spider Loc really, you know, was getting at the Game on another level. Jump in the comments and let me know who you think did the best beefing against the Game. But people, Spider Loc is saying, Game, you got nerve to speak on J. Cole's softness while you're crying, you know, and sharing this on this date in hip hop, you know, Game bipolar emotional breakdown on camera. And then he also said, Game, did J. Cole write your verse on Drug Test? Don't lie. And he also tagged No Jumper. And I didn't never know that comment. Did any of y'all ever hear that before about Game having some ish ghost written for him by J. Cole or anyone else? As you see, some cats are commenting and saying individuals that were flunking with the Game from early on in his career from the Bay Area are saying, yo, I've been heard this, that the Game, you know, from people that work with him early on. Like, I never personally heard of straight up ghostwriting, but I heard, like, same thing we heard from 50 Cent and whatnot, that the Game, you know, he could spit his ish a little bit or whatever, but he didn't know nothing about putting songs together, you know, verses and the hook and, you know, the bars, how to line it all up properly for a dope song. And, you know, I concur with that. I mean, like I brought up in, you know, numerous blogs, I mean, the history speaks for itself. Game got on with JT, Then he was over there on the Aftermath. He was shelved with Aftermath dropping ish on, mixtapes and whatnot. Like I said, you could go all the way back to the Shady Records Invasion mixtape where Eminem was dropping all them Benzino disses, and there was a Game track on there, and he was sounding like a totally different artist, and he still had both eyes open at this point. This was pre One of My Eyes Don't Work. And, it was like he was going to get dropped. Jimmy Iovine, Dre, the label heads, the powers that be said, let's put them, we don't want to totally lose this investment. We think we can cash in on this individual. Let's put him as the fifth element of G Unit. You know what I'm saying? You got the 3 cats from New York, one with Young Buck from the Dirty South from Nashville, Tennessee. Let's put the fifth element all the way over there, out there on the West Coast. And, 50 Cent gave this man half that album. That's facts. We've heard the reference tracks and everything. And, here we are now in 2024, and it's just the same ish all these years later, man. Game trying to come up off someone else, take something from someone else, be a Decepticon and gain momentum off other individuals, what they got going on. Like, yo, Drake, I'm your brother. I got you. I'm holding you down in this. Drake ain't even responding. You know what I'm saying? Drake ain't even liking the social media posts. He don't give a fuck, man. He's sitting here calling J. Cole again a buster, or just all the fans, everyone's so soft because J. Cole apologized, and he's Kool-Aid sugar. What does that make the game when he apologized to 50 Cent a million times over? You know what I mean? What are you? Tutti Fruity bubblegum? Like, come on, let's talk about it all in the comments. It just blows my mind that, certain issues, see people continue to do the same things. And outside of what we're talking about here with the game, you know what I mean? With everything that goes on, I always say, like, any news story or anything that's jumping off, you can take that and use it for something in your own life. Like there's a gem or a lesson to be learned. And the lesson here is, if you got individuals in your life that lie to you all the time, that are always on some Decepticon shit, trying to deceive you with some flunkery, and they've let you down over and over again, stop flunking with them. Stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. Stop being surprised when they keep lying and keep being their true self. Don't make yourself the dummy. Let the dummy know that they're the dummy and that they're a dumbass for it. So that's all I got. Hit the comments. Let's talk about it all. Subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace, and God bless y'all. It's coffee, and I'm gone.